Hey all, my name's Chris Hollywood, and this is the update for my FYP. Last video was focusing on the tech, making sure that it all worked, that it was all modular, and it followed a spline. And this time, now working on the art stuff that I've done over the past weeks. So let's get down to it. So here's just a snippet of the art that I've done, and here you go. We've completely redesigned track 2. Beforehand, it was fairly dark colours, it wasn't very well done, there's lots of scratches. It was a learning experience, but we've learned from that and produced this, which is much more cleaner. The colours actually match with the first track piece, which is over there. As you can see, that's where it'd line up. The colours, they're more unified. We actually have a working colour scheme, and when I'm actually making new meshes, I've got like a list of colours that it should follow. We've redesigned the middle. It's an arrow now, which will redirect the players, so you know which way you're going at all times. And also, it's a racing game, you should know which way's forward, and we can actually work that into the art somehow, which I like more. We've also made here the bars that are actually part of the mesh, which was kind of a nightmare. Instead, I've just made it floating geometry, which is so much simpler. And also, from the feedback, I've actually worked on and making sure that the meshes make sense. So the bars here, they're actually clamped on with this clamp here, and it's got bolts and rivets, so that it actually makes sense. It's got edge wear where needed. If we can kind of like zoom in, we can show. It's harder to see there. You'll be able to look at it in the roughness and metallic maps. You can see the plating here. There's like a darker grey. It's shown in the normal map that it's been riveted in as if it's been stuck on or slotted on. So it makes more sense if we go to like here. Like it's more of a brushed metal. We can see like that there's holes and it's been stuck on, and there's a line that's been cut in, so as if it's been planted on. Still kept the hex grid though from that. I quite like the hex grid. So let's go on to track 1. The track still works fine. The art works with the tech just fine. If we go to here, let's change this one. So yeah, this is one of the meshes that hasn't been completed, but it still works fine. If we go to this. And that's one of the others, and that's the panel. So freeze the generator, see if it's the panel. We've got this screen here with a flashing arrow that goes across. Ooh. There we go, bit like that. Goes across. If we go into the actual shader itself, it's just two materials with a matte layer blend. That's using like a very dotted alpha. If we just look into that. So yeah, it's just a ton of dots plastered on, which creates a nice effect rather than this blocky arrow going across. So yeah, we're using a panner at some speed. At the moment, the arrow is yellow. I'm going to change that to make it white, and using parameters, we can change the color in a material instance. It makes more sense to do it that way. So it's actually editable in engine. And also, we've made sure that the AO is actually multiplied to the color, because apparently this doesn't work. So make sure that we learned that and working. So following on from that, the art follows the track fine. So when it curves up, it conforms to it, it doesn't warp. And when it goes down, when there's a sharper corner, it works fine. At the very extremes, there's some warping. And this is like the very, very extreme. I probably wouldn't do this in the actual, if this were for a game, I wouldn't put it to this extreme of a corner perhaps. Because as you can see here, it does work fine still, but it's squished together and it does work. Probably wouldn't recommend it, but we have to test the extremes so that I know the limits of this thing. So yeah, if we go back here, we can see it bending. We can put it on the side. Maybe you want to drive on your side. I don't know. It's possible, kind of like F-Zero. So yeah, if we go to, let's say, I think back here is like number 10. Yeah, track bank. Track bank 1.3, if we just scroll it across. Ooh, this might lag. Yeah, that was unwise. Actually, no, it was fine. So yeah. We go do it across. There we go, yeah, it kind of changed. Probably not best to do it whilst recording a video, but you can see that it changed and that it matches it just fine. Okay, well, that's all there is to look at from the outside. Let's take a look at some of the other completed meshes. So if we go to number 2, if we go to right, that's the left, 0. So here's the wire, the side wire. We've got some edge damage, we've got some scratches on the actual plastic of the wire. Probably won't show up in the video, so I'm going to be attaching pictures, as I said, that showcases all of this. All the textures are done in 4K, but might not show in the video. Let's take a look at the low poly mesh as an example for like track 2, so that you can actually see the topology. Go to Substance Painter. So yeah, if we can remember the control scheme, because it's annoying to go through different programs because there's so many control schemes you have to remember. So yeah, here's the low poly mesh. It's very straightforward, very simple, very clean. There's extra lines so that it actually, the topology supports all the bending and warping it's going to have to do when it follows the track. For example, here, because without it, it would not work. Alright, so that's pretty much all I have to show for here. That's pretty much the art. There'll be pictures linked, as I've said. Also, what is there to do in the future? Well, I'll be working on any feedback I get from this, and also I've got some more meshes to work on. So if we go back to number 2, I've still got the message projector to fully do. The plan for this is, once sides are done, the middle is being an opacity map, and it's going to be kind of like the slide screens, the arrow screens and the arrow sliding across. So we can have sponsors, arrows, go, whatever. I also planning to do a track 3, which was shown in the other video. Not much work was done for it. That's kind of like a starting position, and it'd be modelled off like the Wipeout tracks, how they've done it, which was where the inspiration came from for that track piece. But I'll be doing that last because I want to focus on these meshes. We also have to do the other 2 meshes. Let's remember, yeah, the power pad mesh and this mesh. So we have to texture those. So a lot of the work's been done, some more to do, but we're getting there, and it shouldn't be long before most of it's completed. So I hope you've enjoyed, and thanks for listening and watching.